a timely hearing given the infrastructure seems to be on the top of many minds lately, not the least of which is our president's infrastructure. And that doesn't just mean roads and bridges. It also includes broadband, national parks, and important for today, and really important in Montana, energy infrastructure. I just returned from visiting 9 counties on Friday and Saturday last week in Montana, in eastern Montana. And some of these places, as they say, it's not the end of the internet, but you can see it from there. This is out off the beaten path. Extreme southeast Montana. The salt of the earth Montanans live there. The Keystone Pipeline, for example, would be one of the pieces of infrastructure that will go through some of those counties. Natural gas liquids pipelines, CO2 pipeline near Baker, Montana, and Fallon County. In fact, a little side story, I was in Ekalaka, which is Carter County, extreme southeast Montana, graduating class of 7 students that we welcomed to eastern Montana. These are kids that oftentimes are growing up on ranches in the area. I asked the superintendent, I said, where are we getting the money to fund these? There are schools. They just built a new gymnasium. They have a lot of their regional Class C basketball tournaments there. It's the pride. He said 94% of the revenues that come to our school to support education, teachers, infrastructure, come from pipeline revenues. I tell you what, it's a lifeblood for our infrastructure to support our schools in places like eastern Montana. We've come a long ways on pipeline safety. I'm happy to have helped author the Safe Pipes Act, which was signed into law in 2016, which will make the transportation of oil and natural gas even safer. All are critical to moving energy that will fuel our nation and, importantly, fuel the entire world. As the state, Montana, with the largest deposit of recoverable coal in the nation. Now, when you think of Montana, most of the time we think about fly fishing and rivers and the beauty of our state, which is absolutely true, and I love to do those things. We also have more coal, recoverable coal, than anybody else in the nation. We're looking for approval of coal export terminals so we can begin moving our coal through domestic ports, creating American jobs, rather than having to go north and then west through Canada. Security and reliability of our electric grids also top of mind, especially when we work to protect reliable baseload power that comes from the Colstrip power plant, especially each summer when we have the wildfires. We had a horrible wildfire season out west. Montana had one of our toughest seasons in a long time. These fires are raging across our national forests, and they become difficult to manage, and they sometimes pose risk, of course, to utility lines. We had that situation when the counties, I called one of our sheriffs up, one of our counties in the southwest Montana. We had one of our large fires. He said, Steve, we are battling a fire and trying to protect a 500 kV transmission line that's running from Colstrip out west. But because of restrictions and regulations on common sense vegetative management, it's put these lines at risk. However, when the fire was burning, they couldn't move their fire crews in there to try to protect the transmission line because the carbon particles were in the air from the fire, and they were fear of arcing coming off those high voltage lines and could kill a firefighter. So here we are, we're literally between a rock and a hard place, and it's why I'm going to talk about that here at the end here, why we need to get some changes made here to how we can more effectively manage and protect infrastructure. In Montana, we house minerals that are building blocks of a lot of infrastructure: sand, gravel, world-class copper, palladium, silver. We need to be sure we can access these materials domestically and not have to rely on nations overseas. I hope bills emerge from this committee and others that strengthen all of our energy assets, from more expeditious approval of pipelines, export terminals to protect baseload terminal or power, as well as helping federal land managers be better partners with power companies back to vegetation management and allowing us to recover our own raw materials.